It's Friday morning in the fabulous Florida Keys. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty. The weekend is here and we're supposed to have a windy, cold weekend. If you want to believe the weather forecast, today is supposed to be windy, cold, and rainy. I usually use my own weather forecast. I walk outside in my driveway for 5 minutes every morning and I decide what the weather's going to be. When I went out this morning about 5:30 to take my morning walk, I walked outside in my driveway and I promptly ran back inside to put on my jacket. I'm still wearing it now because I'm still cold. Plus the Gators are playing this weekend, so I have to have my Gators apparel on. It was 71 degrees outside with very heavy winds when I went out to take my walk, so I came in and changed my apparel immediately. This is my morning market MLS update video I do every day right about this same time. I report all the new listings in Key West and the lower Keys that have come on the market in the last 24 hours. If you watch this video every day, you will be ahead of most buyers. You'll know about every new listing from Big Pine Key down to Key West the same day the realtors find out about them. I find most buyers wait for a home to come on to Trulia or Zillow or Realtor.com before they inquire. And a problem they run into a lot is by the time some of these sites put a home live online, it's been on the multiple listing service a couple days and all the good deals are already gone. If you watch this video every day and see something you like, call me right away and we can write up an offer on the property and have you under contract before most buyers ever even knew the home was available for sale. You'll also get a much more detailed description of these listings, including photos, if you follow my blog, keywestinvesting.com. I update that every day also from the Florida Keys multiple listing service just before I do this video. There's a lot more information on the homes in the blog, a lot more details in the blog, any unique features the home might have, projected room uses, room dimensions, photos of the inside of the home, photos of the outside of the home. If the home happens to be waterfront or happens to have a pool, there'll be photos of the pool view, photos of the water view, photos of the boat dock. Just a lot more information than I can cram into a couple-minute YouTube video. Again, that web address is keywestinvesting.com. If you like this video and want to see more videos like it so you'll know what's being listed every day at what price in the Florida Keys, please click that thumbs up like symbol down below and then subscribe to my YouTube channel. I do a video just like this every morning. That'll keep you informed. We have 7 new homes to go over today. I think the theme of today, honestly, is overpriced listing day. Out of the 7 homes, at least 5 of them are overpriced. And then one's in an area that I always tell people don't buy in, but we'll get into that more when I get to that home. Before I tell you about the homes, the state of Florida's legal department makes me cover the boring stuff. The information I'm about to give you comes directly from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. I'm not accepting any responsibility for any of these listings. I'm not claiming any of these listings to be my own listings. And I'm not accepting any responsibility if there's any inaccuracies in any of the information I give you. I'm simply reading it to you from the Florida Keys multiple listing service. On a day like today where we have 7 listings, you'll probably catch me looking down a few times. I'm just looking at my computer screen. I will put in my opinion from time to time, especially today where we have quite a few overpriced listings, but when I do, I'll make it known that it's my opinion. The first house we have is a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,356 square foot house in Key West's Newtown neighborhood on Patterson Ave. Patterson Ave runs one street parallel with North Roosevelt Boulevard, which is the main road going into Key West in the morning, the main road all the delivery trucks take in the morning. This particular house is on the boulevard side of Patterson Ave, so you'll have a lot of noise from those trucks coming in. Like they say, location, location, location. The backyard of this house is about 30 feet from the main North Roosevelt Boulevard. And then to make it even better, it's half a block from the intersection of 5th Street. One of the busiest red lights traffic-wise in Key West in the morning is the light at North Roosevelt and 5th Street. So at one point in time or another, every single truck coming into Key West to deliver is going to stop at that red light, and then they'll be starting their engines up to take off practically in your backyard. Years ago, I had a trash can advertisement. They had trash cans throughout the city, and different businesses advertised on the whole trash can. I had my face and my logo and my phone number on there. It was the best ad I ever had, because anyone that comes into Key West to commute in the morning at one point in time or another is stopped at that red light, and they would look over and see me on the trash can. But let's get back to the house. It's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom. It's 1,356 square feet, which is fairly good size for a house in Newtown. The 3.2 is certainly nice, but location, location, location. That close to Roosevelt, that close to the intersection of Roosevelt and 5th, and they're asking $1,099,000 for it. In my opinion, that's very overpriced. Then we go to Laird Street, which is relatively close to the beach. It's another 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,250 square foot house. Laird Street is fairly close, as I said, to the beach. It's in a nice location. It's surrounded by nicer homes. This would definitely be a case of buying the lesser home in the high-end neighborhood rather than buying the best home in the trailer park, which is what you want to do. Your value goes up as the value of your neighborhood goes up. And when you're surrounded by multi-million-dollar homes, your value is going to go up. I won't go as far as to say this one's overpriced, but it's definitely at the top of the price point for the condition of it. It's being offered at $1,239,000. Then in Key West's Midtown neighborhood on Washington Street, we have a pretty large house. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom, 2,582 square foot house. It's unfortunately on the wrong side of Washington Street for the price tag. Washington Street is kind of cut in half by White Street. White Street's one of the main streets in Key West. On one side of Washington Street is a neighborhood called the Casa Marina area, and those are all very high-end, multi-million-dollar homes. And on the other side is the Midtown one. And the further away from White Street you get, the less the value and the less the quality of the houses go down. This one is about 1.5 blocks from the far end, away from White Street. It's a beautiful home, no doubt. It's a newer home. I believe it was built in 2023. But if you look at the blog, keywestinvesting.com, you'll see for sure. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bathroom house, which is great for someone that entertains, has company, or for a larger family. But unfortunately, it's priced at $3,450,000, and that section of Washington Street just does not justify that price, no matter what the house looks like. If it were on the other end of Washington Street, a house this size, this new, in this condition, would be worth $3.5 million all day long. It would probably be worth over $4 million, but this one's on the wrong side of Washington Street. It's just extremely overpriced at $3,450,000. Then in Key West's Newtown neighborhood on Duck Ave, we have a house in what we call, a section we call Smurf Village. The reason we call it Smurf Village is if you're old enough to remember the cartoon, The Smurfs, the houses kind of look like the houses in The Smurfs. They're all deeded as single-family houses. It's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,032 square foot per deed single-family house. However, they're actually multi-units in one building. There's 4 units to every one of these Smurf houses. But there's no HOA, no common rules, no documents determining who's responsible for what financially. It could become a legal nightmare. I tell people stay away from the Smurf houses all the time. Aside from the fact that I just think they're ugly, but that's my personal opinion. You have 4 homes in one building, and there's no governing HOA. So what happens if the building needs a new roof? If all of your neighbors do the right thing and pitch in their fair share, then things go well. Or if the building needs to be re-sided, or if the building needs to be tented for termites. When your home's tented for termites, you have to be out of the house for 2, sometimes 3 days. If all 4 neighbors aren't willing to move out of their house for those days, the house can't be tented for termites, and your neighbor's termites are going to come over to your house. And there's no HOA rules in place that says who's responsible for that. So you might be the only one who likes to keep up your house, and all of a sudden you're responsible for putting a roof on all 4 units, or residing the building for all 4 units, or paying for the tenting for termites for all 4 units if you can convince your neighbors to leave. It is offered at $619,000, which is an extremely low price for a house in Key West, but the old expression, you get what you pay for. Then also in Key West's Newtown neighborhood on Harris Ave, there's a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,155 square foot house. This is a relatively nice house. It's been fairly recently updated. If you look at the blog, you'll see the pictures. It looks like it's really well kept, a nice house. It's definitely on the high end of the price point. I won't call this one extremely overpriced, but it's being offered at $1 million. This is one of the times where I said I'll be looking down. I lost myself for a minute. $1,175,000, which is definitely on the high end for that section of Newtown. Then we go to Sunrise Drive in Newtown. Most people know Sunrise Drive because that's the last street Jimmy Buffett lived on when he lived in Key West. But half of Sunrise Drive, one side, is canal front homes, and they're all multi-million-dollar homes. That's where Jimmy Buffett lived. The other side of Sunrise Drive are dry lot homes, and they're so-so homes. They're not bad, but they're not the best we have in Key West. This one is on the dry side. It's a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom, 2,101 square foot house, which is a fairly large house by Key West standards. It's in a good location. It's relatively close to the beach. It's close to the grocery shopping. It's close to several nice restaurants. But it's just overpriced. They're asking $1,895,000 for it. In my opinion, that's not worth it. Then the only one we have today not in Key West is up on Cudjoe Key on Colson Drive. This one's a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,696 square foot house on a dry lot. If you look at the blog, you will see it says it has open water views. That's from the top floor. If you go up to the top, very top, you get a glimpse of the open water, but it is not a waterfront house. They're asking waterfront prices, in my opinion. If this house were on a canal with good boating, it would be very appropriately priced, but it's a dry lot house, and they're asking $1,495,000. It's a newer house. It meets all the current codes. Your insurance would be less than most houses, but $1,495,000 for a dry lot house in Cudjoe Key is just overpriced, in my opinion. And that's all we have for today. If you want to take a look at any of these homes or any home anywhere in the Florida Keys, give me a call at 305-731-0501. And don't forget to check out my blog, keywestinvesting.com. I'm Gary McAdams with eXp Realty.